Tony Richardson is a 2001 graduate of Admiral King High School. During high school, Tony was actively involved in student life. He participated in the Unity Club, the Young Scholars Program, a 4-year LeCabcy honoree, and was in the National Honor Society for 2 years. Tony also excelled athletically as he was a varsity winner in football and 3-year starter and team captain for the Admirals basketball team. Following high school, Tony went to Oberlin College where he earned a bachelor's degree. Following Oberlin, he initially enrolled at Syracuse University Law School, but ultimately graduated from the Ohio State University's Michael E. Moritz College of Law. With law degree in hand, Tony returned to Lorain with the goal of making the world a better place. In 2011, he was elected to Lorain City Council as an at-large member. Richardson would be re-elected in 2013 and was tapped by the Ohio State Superintendent to serve as the chairman of the Lorain Academic Distress Commission for the Lorain School District. In addition to political and board service, Tony has developed a significant employment record in the philanthropic field. Initially, he worked for the Nord Family Foundation. Tony's work has been recognized as evidenced by his 2017 Emerging Philanthropist Award and memorialized in the Chronicle of Philanthropy, the Stanford Review, and the Center for Effective Philanthropy. In 2022, Tony was selected to become president of the George Gund Foundation. This foundation, founded in 1952, supports nonprofit organizations working to address climate and environmental degradation, threats to democracy and inequity, and has given over $722 million in grants since its founding. Tony currently resides in Avon with his wife and child. Please welcome my friend and former student, Tony Richardson, to the Lorain Alumni Association Distinguished Alumni Hall of Fame.
So I'll just, first and foremost, I want to say thank you to the Alumni Association team. It's truly a privilege to be here today before you all on the grounds of our former high school. To my grandma, thank you for your leadership in family and in community. And growing up, all I ever wanted to do was go to Lorain Admiral King High School. And in fact, when folks ask me what school do you go to, I say Admiral King. I don't talk about college or law school because it was here in Lorain that I developed a sense of purpose and understanding beyond who I was as an individual and what could I do for our community? What could I do for people who look like me, who came from environments that I come from? And through that sort of devotion and sort of fire and idea of privilege to serve and be in service of people and community is what continues to ignite me and inspire me to this day. When I had an opportunity to run for public office here in the community, I spoke to my grandma and a dear friend of mine who passed away in 2020 actually, Cuddy Katanzari. At the time she was 87 years old, and she and my grandmother did an amazing job of helping organize our community, creating candidate nights for me, allowing me to articulate my vision and my passion for this great community we live in to this day. And having the chance to serve on city council allowed me to better appreciate the challenges of this community, but it also allowed me to appreciate what's possible. So when I think about threats to our democracy, what's happening in Columbus right now, and we have an opportunity here in August at our special election to vote no for issue 1. And when we think about issue 1, for me it's not about partisanship, because we can go back to Brown v. Board of Education, when we had to integrate the schools back in the 60s and 70s. And there was a 59% threshold measure that was created by the General Assembly in Mississippi for public school districts that wanted to issue new bonds. They had a 59%, right? So that was the end in that community around how do we build new schools. Majority plus 1 was no longer the threshold. And there hasn't been a new school built in black communities and for black students in that state since 1972. So when we think about what's happening in Columbus today and our opportunity as American citizens, as Ohioans, as Lorainites, to stand up and protect our democracy, because this democracy transcends partisanship. And but for democracy, none of us would be here today, right? Number two, we have an amazing opportunity moving forward. President Biden, our Congress passed groundbreaking legislation. It's the biggest and largest piece of legislation in the world history for climate change, addressing climate change, climate adaptation and mitigation. $394 billion. Lorain can't be left behind. So when we think about manufacturing, when we think about our infrastructure, someone referenced our lake and how this can become an attraction for tourists. Well, you know what's going to happen here in the next 50 years. It won't just be tourists coming here. The world will be migrating here because of climate and our freshwater deposit. So as we sit here at our school district, how are we preparing our students? How are we preparing each other? How are we getting the word out? Because what's coming is here, right? And Lorain has an opportunity from manufacturing, clean energy, solar. We could become the model for how you transition from sort of industrial manufacturing to clean energy manufacturing. Lorain has that opportunity. And I'll just end on this note. Shirley Chisholm, first African-American woman elected to U.S. Congress, said service is the rent we pay for the privilege of living on earth, right? Service, it's through our service, that's the rent we pay for the privilege of being here. So when we think about, our, in my mind, civic duty, to be informed as citizenry, to get out, to vote. I'm not telling you how to vote, but we gotta participate. There are countries and people around the world who don't have that opportunity, don't have that privilege, don't have that right. And so as I think about our distinguished alumni, look at Tony Giardini, who's been a mentor and close friend for me, Mr. Bradley, who, by the way, I actually saw your granddaughter on spring break this year. True story, so his granddaughter and my daughter are classmates. And we were in DC, actually Alexandria, and we're going to get ice cream. And I see Roma come, I said, is this Roma? I'm in DC, I'm like, what are you doing here? And so she's like, Zuri's dad. And so our daughters saw each other, and it was just amazing. And I always think about Lorain and how all paths lead to Lorain and Lorain people. Mr. Ferguson, it was when I took your Algebra 2 honors course that I realized I could take any course and be successful at it. And as a basketball coach, I mean, you've played a huge role in my life, and I think about all the people here today that have touched, influenced, inspired, checked me, pushed back at me, and challenged me to be a better person. I want to thank you all, thank the district, thank everyone that's a part of this committee, and I look forward to the next years of other alumni. Thank you.